Since 1965, only one light has burned in the National Football League. It has glowed constantly for the proud Packers of Green Bay, Wisconsin. In Lambeau Stadium on December 31st, 1967, they won their third consecutive NFL title, a feat never before accomplished in the modern history of the game. This is simply about the way it was, starting with the first championship season, starting with that gloomy December day in 1965, when the Packers met the Colts in Baltimore to determine first place in the Western Division.
Don Shula and the rest of the Baltimore Colts.
One man can't win a championship, but certainly no one man contributed more in the crucial games of the 1965 season than Paul Hornung, number 5. Against the Colts, he scored 5 touchdowns and led Green Bay to a resounding victory and a half-game lead in the Western Division. But at the season's end, the Colts and the Packers were tied, and in a playoff game in Lambeau Stadium, they battled to a 10-10 deadlock. After 14 minutes of sudden death overtime, Green Bay's dreams of the Western title rode on the right foot of Don Chandler. His field goal attempt cleared the crossbar with ease and cleared the way to the first championship game. 1 week later on the same field, Green Bay head coach Vince Lombardi saw Chandler and Hornung lead the Packers to the NFL title with a 23-12 victory over the Cleveland Browns. In 1966, quarterback Bart Starr passed Green Bay to an easy victory in the Western Division. In the championship game in the Cotton Bowl, Starr ripped open the Dallas Cowboys with 4 touchdown passes, and Green Bay won 34-27. 2 weeks later, against the Kansas City Chiefs of the AFL, Starr directed the Packers to a convincing triumph in the first Super Bowl game. The second straight championship was won, but the greatest challenge was still to be faced. The stern voice of Coach Lombardi heralded the opening of the 1967 season.
This year we face the greatest challenge we have ever faced. We will be in quest of an unprecedented third straight championship.
Coach Lombardi faced the greatest challenge with a team that was torn and battered. A rugged exhibition schedule had left Bart Starr a mass of bruises, and the Packers' offensive firepower was severely diminished.
For Bart Starr, pro football's #1 quarterback, opening day was indeed a disappointment. Harassed and hurried by Detroit's forceful and efficient defense, Starr suffered through one of the most dismal days of his 12-year career. He was blitzed, bombed, and intercepted. The hustling Detroit secondary stole 4 of Starr's passes in the first half. This is an especially remarkable feat when you consider that Starr had only 3 passes intercepted during an entire season in 1966. Lim Barney, a rookie from Jackson State, returned one of these interceptions for the game's first score. Throughout the first quarter, Coach Joe Schmidt saw his squad move freely and consistently against the respected Packer defense. A 33-yard sideline sprint by rookie Mel Farr moved the Lions into scoring range. A Mill Plum to Ron Kramer touchdown completion was nullified by a holding penalty. The Lions' scoring threat fizzled out, but Wayne Walker offered a solution. His 47-yard field goal moved Detroit into a 10-point lead. In the second period, Plum riddled the Packers center with sharp passes and sent Mel Farr slashing off tackle for consistent yardage. A knifing tackle by Bob Jeter temporarily halted the Lion drive. But 2 plays later, Amos Marsh powered into the end zone to give Detroit a surprising 17-0 halftime lead. In the second half, Donnie Anderson started the Packers on the road back as he stormed up the sideline on a 41-yard punt return. Number 68, guard Gale Gillingham, cleared a touchdown path for Elijah Pitts, and Green Bay trailed by 10. Late in the period, after some detailed instructions from Coach Vince Lombardi, Starr bombed the Lions with a 51-yard play-action pass to Swift Carroll Dale. At the opening of the final period, Starr continued to move the Packers through the air. Jim Grabowski, displaying surprising speed, turned a short screener into a long gain. Elijah Pitts drove in for the touchdown as the Detroit advantage dwindled to 3 points. In typical Lombardi fashion, with just minutes to play, the Packers launched one of their daring beat-the-clock drives. Elijah Pitts took a swing pass, then sidestepped, sprinted, and straight-armed his way for 84 yards to the Lion 13. With 1 minute to play, Don Chandler evened the game with a 28-yard field goal. Final score, 17-17. A tie for the Packers, a moral victory for the Lions. But neither ties nor moral victories mean a thing in the NFL.
As a result, Green Bay relied on the strength of its defense to win. After an opening day tie with Detroit, the Packers held the Chicago Bears to a total of 6 first downs and earned their first victory of the year. In the season's third game, the Atlanta Falcons ran 50 plays and gained only 58 yards. Not once did they cross the Packer goal as Green Bay registered a 23-0 shutout. Against the Detroit Lions, the Packer defense did a vicious job, and few will forget the beating Milt Plum received at the hands of Henry Jordan and Willie Davis. And few will forget Ray Nitschke's game-breaking touchdown run with a deflected pass that clinched Green Bay's third victory. So, through the first part of the season, the defense kept Green Bay's title hopes alive. And throughout the remainder of the year, it would be the determining factor in the Packers' success. It is an aggressive defense that intimidates opponents, wears them down, and disorganizes their offensive patterns.
Bart Starr will have a short, frustrating afternoon. At the outset, the Atlanta defense comes on hard, sealing off the receivers and forcing Starr to scramble. The roof falls in when Tommy Nobis finalizes a Falcon rush. The first-string quarterback sustained a bruised shoulder and retired for the afternoon. The Packer defense keynotes an efficiency of its own, an efficiency that will ultimately take the measure of victory. Zeke Bratkowski takes over the Green Bay offense. Bratkowski passes to Carroll Dale for the touchdown, and as the quarter ends, Green Bay leads 7-0. Norb Hecker is a defensively oriented coach. In their second year in the league, the Falcons are showing a surprising cohesion. A good defensive effort and some good running shut off the Packers' drive. Hecker learned his trade in Green Bay, the town where defense is synonymous with winning football. When the Packer defense is hot, it's an attack in itself. A hard rush by Willie Davis is worth a 2-point safety. The Falcon defense is game, but Green Bay is renowned for the constant pressure its offense generates. They chink away with precision at the smallest opening, and it's all with one purpose, to set up the big play. Carroll Dale goes 50 yards en route to his second touchdown of the day. At halftime, the Packers lead 16-0. Atlanta comes into the second half with fire in their eyes. Bratkowski throws his second interception of the day. "16 points isn't an insurmountable lead. Steve Sloan, now at quarterback, will have no better luck than Johnson. The Green Bay defense just will not be dented. The Packers were so effective that they held the Falcon offense to a total of 58 yards. The quarter changes and Green Bay is once again in possession. Bratkowski keeps the air lanes humming and the Falcon defense off balance. Ben Wilson stampedes over the right side for 11 yards. And the final score is Packers 23, Atlanta nothing.
It was the Detroit Lions' 400th game since entering the NFL in 1934. But the Green Bay Packers have been around much longer with a style that is unmistakable. Crushing and total defense. Number 87, Willie Davis. Number 74, Henry Jordan. But defense was played on both sides of the scrimmage line, as number 71, Alex Karras, met Elijah Pitts. Detroit hit and then hit again. And after a field goal, it was the defense that counted for Detroit's only score in the first half. Number 78, Darris McCord, put on a tremendous rush and deflect Bratkowski's pass into the waiting arms of Larry Hand, number 74. Most linemen are fortunate to score a touchdown in a lifetime. This was Larry Hand's second TD in 2 straight weeks. The Packers' only first half score came when Donnie Anderson got loose at the Lions' 2-yard line. And at halftime, it was 10-7 Detroit. In their last 3 games, it has been the Packer defense that has ruled completely. They have been the offense. Another view from a ground camera showed Dave Robinson and Ray Nitschke blasting in on Milt Plum. Robinson deflected the pass to Nitschke, who limped 20 yards for Green Bay's second score. Coach Joe Schmidt's Lions tied Green Bay on opening day. Today in the fourth quarter, they were clinging desperately to victory hopes. After a pass to John Henderson, Mel Farr turned the corner for 11 yards. Behind by 2 touchdowns, Bill Malinchak outbattled Bob Jeter for a beautifully earned touchdown. If the first half belonged to the defensive lines, the second half belonged to the Packers' secondary. Tom Brown raced 51 yards with Green Bay's second of 3 interceptions. A few minutes later, Herb Adderley wrestled Carl Sweethand's pass away from Pat Studstill on the Green Bay 40, setting up the Packers' final touchdown drive. Elijah Pitts carried for a first down. The Packers have never lost a football game that Zeke Bratkowski has led. Boyd Dowler's touchdown was enough for the win. But it was the Packer defense that again proved to be the master of all, a defense that has put Green Bay 2 games ahead in the Central Division.
In the first half of this game with the Minnesota Vikings, the Green Bay Packers clearly and convincingly demonstrated why their defensive team is considered the most effective unit of its kind. Viking quarterback Joe Kapp was shut out completely. The Packers secondary not only prevented him from completing a single pass, but intercepted 2 of the 6 he attempted. Green Bay's offense, however, was inconsistent and unproductive. In the second quarter, after Herb Adderley's interception had given them possession on the Viking 34, the Packer offense sputtered feebly. Even Don Chandler was unable to offer a solution. His field goal attempt from the 27 was wide. Minutes after Chandler's unsuccessful try, the Packers had the ball again, and this time they scored. Green Bay's touchdown hit the Vikings swiftly and unexpectedly. Carroll Dale, number 84, whose long-distance receptions have figured in every Packer victory thus far, outraced Ursel McBee to the ball and then to the end zone to register the game's first touchdown. On the scoring pass, cornerback Ursel McBee, number 46, fell victim to Dale's smooth, deceiving stride. Carroll simply ran around the Viking defender, and Bratkowski's perfectly thrown pass found him on the 42-yard line. Dale sprinted the rest of the way to the end zone to complete an 86-yard pass play and give Green Bay a 7-0 lead at intermission. Late in the third quarter, an interception gave the Vikings the football on the Packer 37-yard line. With fullback Bill Brown, number 30, handling the heavy-duty work, the Vikings marched on the Packer goal. The Minnesota drive continued into the final quarter. Brown butted to the 3. On third down, a crushing tackle by Doug Hart stopped Joe Kapp on the 1. With 4th and goal, the man who started the drive finished it. Bill Brown scored for Minnesota, and the game was tied. Following the kickoff, Green Bay made momentary progress when Bratkowski completed 2 short passes to his setbacks. But his third pass, intended for halfback Elijah Pitts, was intercepted by Ursel McBee. Atoning for his earlier mistake, McBee left the Viking offense with 2 minutes and 45 yards to go to achieve their first victory of the year. Joe Kapp turned loose halfback Dave Osborne on 2 successive end sweeps to advance the ball to the Green Bay 5. With 18 seconds left to play, the Packer defense stacked up Bill Brown for no gain. With 8 seconds left in the game, Fred Cox kicked a 12-yard field goal to give the previously winless Minnesota Vikings a 10-7 victory over the previously unbeaten Green Bay Packers in the NFL's biggest upset of the season.
Supported by this defense, the Packers held up through the first 4 games without a loss. But with their crippled offense, they were an incomplete team. In fact, rumor had it that the champion Packers were dead. They still wore the same green jerseys and gold helmets, and they still had a concrete defense. But their offense had suffered critical breakdowns. And when they lost to the Minnesota Vikings in the season's 5th game, their future was as much in question as their offense. The Packers crushed the Giants 48-21 and proved that all they had lost during the early uncertain days of the season was the use of their quarterback, Bart Starr. Zeke Bratkowski had done a capable job filling in for Starr. He is a good quarterback, but Starr is a great one. And with him back in the lineup, the Packers became a championship team again. They rolled up 400 yards against the Giants and seemed bent on refuting the experts who had predicted the end of the Green Bay dynasty. In the first half of the season, the defense had kept the Packers in contention.
It's standing room only at New York's Yankee Stadium, where more than 62,000 fans gather to witness the first Broadway appearance of the world champion Green Bay Packers since their memorable title game victory in 1962. Brooklyn-born coach Vince Lombardi returns to his hometown, eager to convince the Eastern press that his Packers are still the best team in creation. Number 10, Fran Tarkenton, has put spark back in the Giant attack. So much so that New York leads the league in total offense. Conversely, Green Bay's ineffective offense may be traced to a succession of injuries to Bart Starr. On third down, number 77, Ron Kostelnik, forces Tarkenton to vacate the pocket. His off-balance pass is too low for Thomas, and the Giants must punt. On a draw play, Jim Grabowski goes right up the middle for 12 quick yards. On that play, we can see that the hole was there. Grabowski was into the secondary in a flash before the deep defenders converged to stop him. Elijah Pitts sweeps to the near side and will reach close to midfield, where the Packer offense will sputter and stall. The Giants put the ball in play at their 20. Tucker Fredrickson is held to a short gain by Ray Nitschke. Tarkenton goes for Aaron Thomas on a slant, but the ball is deflected to Willie Wood. The Packer free safety scurries to the New York 19 to set up the first scoring threat of the game. On the famous Packer power sweep, Pitts crashes down to the Giants' 12. Bart Starr wants to pass, but with no one open, he puts plan B into effect and darts to the New York 3. Once more, it's a sweep to the right, with Pitts carrying, and he's got the touchdown. Another look at that play shows what Coach Lombardi means when he says, run to daylight. The hole is there, Pitts finds it, and Green Bay leads New York 7-0. Number 82, Green Bay end Lionel Aldridge takes aim on Fran Tarkenton. Aldridge gets his prey, and the Giants suffer a 4-yard loss on the play. The Pack swings to the attack with Jim Grabowski supplying the legwork on an 11-yard draw play. The Giants bust a play, and Tarkenton has to run. He can't escape the clutch of Dave Robinson, and it costs New York 4 yards. Tarkenton sets to pass. His protection holds up as Fran waits for his man to clear and unloads. Homer Jones, New York's leading scorer, makes his 7th touchdown reception of the season as the Giants rally to tie the game at 7-7. On 3rd and 3, Tarkenton rolls left and threads his way for an important first down. The 72-yard drive is capped when Tarkenton connects with Joe Morrison at the flag for a touchdown. With their 2nd touchdown of the 2nd quarter, the Giants have captured the lead for the first time, and the impossible seems to be happening. A 33-yard star to Dowler completion puts the Packers in scoring range with only seconds remaining in the half. Disdaining the sideline pass to stop the clock, Starr throws to Bob Long down the middle to give Don Chandler a head-on angle for a field goal. Chandler's 21-yard placement is true as the Packers go to the locker room with only a 14-10 deficit. The offense has plagued Green Bay all season. The second half will see the Packers gel for the first time in 1967. Starr's first pass in the 3rd period is dropped, but the Giants' Clarence Childs is called for interference. Number 64, All-Pro guard Jerry Kramer leads Elijah Pitts around end. Only a desperate tackle by Spider Lockhart saves a Packer touchdown. Finding a weakness on the Giant flank, Starr exploits it with his battering fullback. Jim Grabowski's bull-like thrust carries the Packers to the Giant 19. A cavernous hole gives Grabowski access up the middle as the Packer ground machine grinds on relentlessly. From the 5, Pitts picks up the remaining yards as the Packers regain the lead, 17-14. On the last play, the key block was supplied by number 68, Gail Gillingham, who eradicates number 48, Clarence Childs. Once past Childs, Pitts has only a linebacker to beat for the touchdown, and he does. Tarkenton must throw into the best pass defense in football. Rushed hard by Henry Jordan and Willie Davis, Tarkenton unwisely throws off balance. His pass to Morrison bounces off the receiver's thigh. And Dave Robinson is there to intercept. This time, the Giant defense holds and forces the Pack to attempt a field goal. Don Chandler kicks Green Bay into a 6-point advantage. 20-14. But the foundation of any defense is a fierce pass rush that allows no margin of error. As the third quarter comes to a close, Jim Grabowski reaches the 50-yard line. The Packer running attack has gelled for the first time in 5 games. The Packers reach the Giant 29 on a Star to Dowler completion. The key action of the last play was supplied by Dowler, whose initial move took him past number 28, Henry Carr, and into the heart of the Giant secondary. For the first time, the robot-like Packer offense skitters, but only for a moment. Jim Grabowski takes his eyes off Starr's pass and is punished for it. Finding no receiver open, Starr scrambles for 6 yards. The Packers reach the 1 as Boyd Dowler uses his 6'5" height to shield the ball away from Wendell Harris. Elijah Pitts climaxes the drive with his 3rd touchdown of the day as Green Bay vaults into a 27-14 lead. On the ensuing kickoff, Bill Triplett is met head-on by number 45, John Rouser, and fumbles. Again, the Packers are parlaying mistakes into points as the Giants fall apart in the final period. On the halfback pass, Pitts throws to Dale, who makes a sparkling reception. Behind power blocking, Grabowski turns the game into a rout as Green Bay rolls to a 34-14 margin. Caffey blitzes again and is foiled once more as Tarkenton fires to the touchdown maker Homer Jones for a 30-yard score that reduces the lead to 34-21. Starr picks out his favorite receiver, Boyd Dowler, who victimizes Henry Carr with his 5th catch of the long afternoon. Hitting off tackle, Pitts powers for 5 more. On a clever bootleg, Starr fools the Giants and passes to Grabowski all alone at the 15. Under pressure, Starr's quick release enabled him to find Grabowski on a circle pattern. With only number 54 linebacker Ken Avery to beat, Grabowski strode into the end zone with the Packers' 41st point. With time waning in the game, the Packers continue to assault as Grabowski picked up his 123rd yard of the day. Ben Wilson spells Grabowski, but gives the beleaguered Giants defense no respite. Donnie Anderson caps the day's scoring as he tumbles into the end zone to climax an overwhelming 48-21 Packer victory. The team of offense met the team of defense, and in the NFL, champions are honed on defense.
Battle with the St. Louis Cardinals. Williams ripped off a 94-yard kick return that won the game for the Packers.
Baltimore Memorial Stadium, and the Green Bay Packers have come to town. In the last 10 games, the Packers have won 8. At game time, the Colts are the only undefeated team in the National Football League. It is a scheme that has been built on character. Lou Michaels will take a 57-yard pot shot at the three-pointer. The masked Packer rush blocks the attempt. The Colt defense ruthlessly regains possession in picture book fashion to ensure control. Turning upfield, he frees his right arm to defend himself. Then the ball pops free. Defensive pressure has bred the first mistake. Green Bay has its best field position of the day. The Colt defense is a unit with character, though, and quickly sets out to deny the advantage. After 3 downs, it's 4th and 19. Don Chandler will make the attempt from the Colt 49. After almost 18 minutes, the first score is recorded. Packers 3, Colts nothing. Ray Nitschke makes the inspired play. Unitas is faced with another 3rd down situation. The Packers transfer their momentum to offense. Starr targets Carroll Dale. Coming off his knees, Dale fights for a couple more yards. From their own 13, Green Bay will launch the most sustained drive of the half. Starr knows that a 3-point lead and a dissipating clock call for the long strike. With cool precision, reminiscent of healthier days, the Packer quarterback eats up yardage with well-timed flares and swings. With 14 seconds remaining, Starr displays the ultimate poise. On 2 plays, Donnie Anderson carries Green Bay into field goal range. With 3 seconds remaining, Chandler goes for a 41-yard attempt. It's no good. Wide to the right. Johnny Unitas of the Colts had similar problems. His biggest was the burly 245-pound frame of All-Pro Willie Davis, number 87. Davis played opposite Baltimore's young right tackle, Sam Ball, number 73. Ball, willing but inexperienced, often fell victim to the power and guile of the veteran Packer end. Because of Davis and his teammates, the Colts were unable to establish any kind of consistency on the ground. Baltimore's greatest frustration came midway in the period, when they ran 3 plunges into the Packer line after 2nd down and 2, and could not make a first down. Green Bay's secondary was as effective as always. Unitas was allowed only 1 completion in the entire 3rd quarter. With the Colts on the Green Bay 40, this interception by Willie Wood closed the door on a possible Baltimore scoring drive. Behind the intelligent marshaling of Bart Starr, the Packer offense began a counterattack. Boyd Dowler, number 86, was again Starr's primary target. He caught 2 passes for 2 first downs. Donnie Anderson gained 9 yards around right end. 2 plays later, Starr flooded the Colts secondary with receivers and forced rookie linebacker Ron Porter, number 55, to cover the speedy Anderson. Anderson was wide open and gathered in a 31-yard touchdown pass. Green Bay 10, Baltimore nothing with 11 minutes to play in the game. The Colts to the Packer 10. Setback for the Colts. On the next play, 3rd down, Unitas sent Alex Hawkins to the other corner of the end zone and delivered a perfectly thrown pass for Baltimore's first score. Point, because an inexperienced holder, Rick Volk, failed to set the ball up properly. Volk was substituting for the injured Bobby Boyd. On the following kickoff, Michaels and Volk promptly made amends. Michaels delivered an onside kick, and Volk recovered for Baltimore on the Green Bay 34. Now, had Michaels made the extra point, the Colts would have gone for the field goal. Instead, Unitas tried to pass, was routed from the pocket, but surprised the Packers by running for the first down. By a half a yard, Unitas had kept the Colts alive. To go. He threw the winning touchdown pass to Willie Richardson. The game-winning touchdown was a combination of good planning and good effort. Packer cornerback Herb Adderley was anticipating a sideline pattern which would stop the clock. He conceded Richardson a half step to the inside. This scant margin was all Richardson needed, as he slanted over the middle, made a fine catch, and went in for the touchdown.
2 weeks later, he single-handedly destroyed the Cleveland Browns when he returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns and sparked Green Bay to a smashing 55-7 victory.
Vince Lombardi has never been known as the Knute Rockne type, but he got the Packers fired up after last week's loss to the Colts, and the Browns were the victims. The prime ingredient in Lombardi's recipe for getting his team up is number 23, Travis Williams. Williams' touchdown return of a kickoff sparked the Packers 2 weeks ago at St. Louis. And on the opening kickoff today, the speedster did it again. 87 yards and a 7-0 Packer lead in what was to be the beginning of the end for the Browns. The first play of the game resulted in the first of 4 Packer interceptions. Number 21, Bob Jeter, made the theft. Bart Starr quickly turned the theft into a 14-0 score when he hit tight end number 81, Mar Fleming, on a 14-yard touchdown pass. Again, the Green Bay defense got the ball for Starr. Their hard-charging line forced a fumble, and Ray Nitschke recovered. On a picture play-action pass, Starr hit Carroll Dale for 19. Filling in for Grabowski, number 36, Ben Wilson, had his finest day as a pro. Here he rumbled for 13 yards. Number 44, Donnie Anderson, made it 21-0 midway through the first quarter. The ensuing kickoff was fumbled, and the Packers had the ball again. Starr always exploits a team's weakness to perfection. The play pass was the weakness, and touchdown was the result. 28-0 was the unlikely score. Ryan looked like he might never unload a pass, let alone complete one. Henry Jordan, number 74, squelches this play. However, Cleveland's powerful setbacks finally broke the Packer chains. Leroy Kelly followed number 66, Gene Hickerson, around right end for 14 yards. Number 48, Ernie Green, let in the Browns' only ray of light in the entire day when he took Ryan's pitch out left, moved in behind his blocking, and motored 59 yards to a touchdown. A most improbable end to a most improbable quarter followed Green's run. No one will ever again ask, who is Travis Williams? His second kickoff return for a touchdown broke NFL records for points scored by one team and total points scored in one quarter, as the first period ended with the unbelievable score of 35-7. The quarter changed, but nothing could change the relentless Packers. Starr again used the play pass to fool the defense. With beautiful trap blocking from the line, Anderson sliced in for his third and the Pack's sixth touchdown of the day. Later in the quarter, Wilson started yet another Green Bay drive, picking up 20 of his day's total of 100 yards. Starr can also work the screen pass to perfection. He and Anderson showed everyone how it should be done. As the half ended, a Chandler field goal made it 45-7. Whatever changes Cleveland made inside, they were not evident on the field. Ryan DeCaffey and Green Bay had stifled another Brown drive. 7 turnovers did not help Cleveland today. This was a Sunday to be forgotten by Frank Ryan. He underthrew many passes, and against the Packers, that means disaster. Lombardi has come up with another find in Ram castoff Ben Wilson. Number 36 moves to and through a hole as fast as anyone in the league. This jaunt set up another field goal. Even when Ryan did complete a pass, the Brown nightmare would not cease. He hit rookie Larry Conjar over the middle, but Conjar's over-anxiousness, plus Big Dave Robinson, gave Green Bay the ball once more. The last Packer touchdown was produced and directed by number 44, Donnie Anderson. The new Golden Boy had a golden game. Besides scoring 4 touchdowns, he ran for 56 yards and caught 5 passes for 103 yards. His 4th touchdown was the anticlimax to a game that will be remembered for a long time. One which psychologically the Packers needed to help sustain their quest for a 1967 NFL championship.
By November, all the parts of the Green Bay machine were functioning smoothly. In the 11th game of the season, the Packers crushed the Chicago Bears and proved that they were the best team in the Central Division. 1 month later, they would prove for the 3rd year in a row that they were the best team in the Western Conference.
If the Green Bay Packers can win the World Championship again this season, they will be the first team in the 48-year history of the National Football League to win the world title 3 years in a row. Last Sunday against the Chicago Bears, the Packers took a giant step toward achieving this unprecedented feat. Behind the driving leadership and the steady direction of head coach Vince Lombardi, the Packers shut down the Bears 17-13 to clinch first place in the Central Division. Lombardi's squad achieved the victory by combining 2 simple yet vitally important elements. 1, the careful passing of quarterback Bart Starr. Starr connected on 11 of 17 attempts for over 200 yards. He passed sparingly but effectively, concentrating on the Bears' right corner, which was occupied by Curtis Gentry, number 46, a second-year man from Maryland State. Starr exploited Gentry's inexperience by throwing quick sideline patterns to lanky Boyd Dowler. Dowler, a former hurdler at Colorado University, frequently turned these short throws into long gainers with some fancy running. The second element of victory for the Packers was, of course, their defense. Tough against the run and even tougher against the pass, the defensive unit set up Green Bay's first touchdown when linebacker Dave Robinson intercepted a Jack Concannon pass early in the first quarter. Robinson's steal gave the Packers possession on the Bear 19. Starr went right to work, connecting with Boyd Dowler on a turn-in for 8 yards. Two plays later, Starr scrambled out of trouble. And then threw a perfect strike to Dowler for the game's first touchdown. With just minutes gone in the first period, Chicago coach George Halas settled down for what looked to be the beginning of a long afternoon for his Bears. Ron Bull started Chicago off impressively by running over a Green Bay defender and the referee on his way to an 8-yard gain. And then, in one brilliant play, it was a tie game. Gale Sayers streaked over right tackle and raced 43 yards to a touchdown. Packer rookie Travis Williams, number 23, who prior to this game had returned 6 kickoffs for an average of 55 yards per return, increased his average as he sailed through the Bears for 70 yards before Rosie Taylor brought him down. Starr, finding his receivers covered, ran for an 11-yard advance to the Bear 14. Ben Wilson boomed over left tackle for 9 yards to the Bear 4. The first quarter closed as the partisan Chicago crowd called for a goal line stand. Their pleas went unanswered as Donnie Anderson slanted into the end zone to put Green Bay ahead 14-7. Later in the period, the Bears, behind the running of Gale Sayers, penetrated to the Packer 5. But two superb defensive plays by corner linebacker Tommy Crutcher, number 56, stopped Chicago short of a touchdown. Mac Percival booted a 10-yard field goal to make it Packers 14, Bears 10 at the half. Early in the second half, the Bear defense, led by the quick charge of end Ed Obradovich, number 87, forced the Packers back to their own goal. Donnie Anderson could manage only a short punt, but when Gale Sayers misjudged the ball, the Packers recovered and denied the Bears good field position. Starr took advantage of the Packers' good fortune. He shook off a blitz by Curtis Gentry and connected with tight end Alan Brown for 16 yards. When the Chicago defense stiffened, Don Chandler drilled a 38-yard field goal to make the score 17-10 Green Bay. For the remainder of the game, the Bears ran the ball with surprising success against the fine Packer line. In all, the Bears gained 180 yards rushing against the stingiest defense in football. But when the Bears approached the Packer goal, the Green Bay defenses tightened. Percival's 15-yard field goal was the only score in the fourth quarter. It was not enough as the Packers defeated the Bears 17-13 and became the first team to clinch a division championship.
Until December 23rd, there were those who said the Los Angeles Rams were the strongest team in football. They had won 10 straight games, and their defensive line, the so-called fearsome foursome, was the toughest in the league. Then on a dark day in Milwaukee, the Green Bay Packers proved that the Rams were not even the best team in the Western Conference. With the Western title at stake, Green Bay's defense, led by Henry Jordan, dropped Roman Gabriel 5 times for losses. On offense, Bart Starr completed 74% of his passes. Carroll Dale was the leading receiver, making 6 receptions for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Bob Skoronski, Forrest Gregg, Gail Gillingham, and Ken Bowman opened gaping holes in the fearsome foursome. Chuck Mercine and Travis Williams sped through them and ran the Packers to a 28-7 win. Gimmick nicknames have not romanticized the Green Bay Packers. Otherwise, after this game, somebody would have dubbed them the Fearsome 40.
There were over 75,000 people who wished George Allen well today. It was the largest crowd for a sporting event in Los Angeles since Sandy Koufax and the rest of the folk heroes were winning pennants for the Dodgers. The last time the Rams had won a championship was 1955. Since then, their football fortunes have been bleak. The people were ready for a winner. To beat the Packers, you must run on them because of their pass defense, the best in pro football. Number 73, tackle Charlie Cowan, had to block the left corner of the Packer defense, a corner that would find 3 Packer All-Pros. The Rams line outcharged the zealous, grudging Packers all day. In separate battles, Green Bay sometimes won the victory, but when the hitting was over, the Rams had proved superior. Les Josephson, number 34, has been named by many as the person most responsible for the renaissance of the Ram offense. Against Green Bay, he had another splendid afternoon. But as usual, it was the Ram defense that provided the measure of victory. The Rams knew that Vince Lombardi prided himself on a balanced attack. So they took away the run, and his balance of power was destroyed. The Rams rarely blitz. Their gimmick-free defense relies on the rush of the fearsome foursome, an ominous quartet who makes passing a hazardous proposition for any quarterback. But Bart Starr isn't any quarterback. He's the kind of quarterback NFL championships are built on. And though harassed by Ram pressure, he managed to fight free enough times to personally run Green Bay out of serious trouble. The setting was the Coliseum, where 22 cleated gladiators prepared for combat. For Los Angeles, a defeat or tie would eliminate them in the Coastal Division. So it would be a fight to the death. The NFL Game of the Week. The Green Bay Packers against the Los Angeles Rams. Early in the first quarter, the Packers quickly dispelled fears that they would rest on their Central Division championship. The polished Packer ground attack was still a precision tool, and only Eddie Medder's solid tackle prevented Donnie Anderson from running to daylight and a Green Bay touchdown. But the Rams survived the early Packer onslaught and forced a Don Chandler field goal that was wide of the mark. The Rams found the Packers' defense as tenacious as always. When they attempted a field goal, it was blocked, and the Packers' Herb Adderley recovered the ball on the Rams' 43. To counter the Rams' pell-mell charge, Starr utilized draw plays to former Ram Ben Wilson, who sliced his way for big gains through the carnage left by the Packer line. Behind magnificent protection, Starr threw his first bomb of the day. Swift Carroll Dale had beaten Clancy Williams by a stride, and when the ball nestled in his arms, the Packers had the first TD. Rolling left, Gabriel finds Jack Snow at the flag, and the score is tied at 7. Quarter, the Rams launch another drive. This time, Gabriel has no place to run or hide, as number 82, Lionel Aldridge, fights off his block and smothers him for a loss. Gabriel tries to spear Snow again, but this time Herb Adderley makes a timely interception. Gabriel's mistake in the first half has been throwing the bomb. This time Bernie Casey is double covered, and Willie Wood intercepts to set up the last scoring opportunity in the first half. .36, Ben Wilson. Travis Williams steams through the Rams for 8 yards. A turnout to Boyd Dowler moves the Pack to the 22, well within the range of field goal kicker Don Chandler. The Rams necessitate the use of Chandler as they stymie Green Bay's drive for a touchdown. With only 46 seconds left in the half, Chandler's 32-yard field goal regains a slim 3-point lead for the Packers as the clock runs out. His passing attack dangerous. Rushed hard, he connects with Jack Snow for a touchdown that ties the Ram record for most TD passes in a season. More importantly, it puts Los Angeles in control 14-10. But Roman Gabriel stumbled, and though he gamely averted a loss, the Rams had to settle for 3 points instead of 7. Bruce Gossett kicks the Rams into a 7-point lead, 17-10. Short, refusing to allow Travis Williams a return. The only time they didn't, he almost cost them the game. 5 yards deep in the end zone, Williams streaked 105 yards to tie the game at 17. For the amazing Williams, his 4th kickoff return for a touchdown established an NFL record. Starr has staved off disaster only for one play. His pass for Donnie Anderson is stolen by Clancy Williams, who returns it to the Green Bay 24. Bruce Gossett's field goal is hardly adequate recompense for a touchdown. But George Allen is grateful for a lead no matter how small. When the Rams regain the ball, Allen has reason for optimism. A swing pass to Travis Williams moves the pack to the Los Angeles 20-yard line as the pendulum swings more and more in the Packers' favor. Starr deftly avoids Deacon Jones's murderous charge and fires a bullet to Dowler, who avoids Irv Cross's tackle the first time, but not the second, as the Packers reach the Rams' 6-yard line. Follow number 57, middle linebacker Doug Woodleaf's futile attempt to stop a Packer TD. Trying to close the hole, Woodleaf is met by number 68, Gail Gillingham, who leads Mercine through the shadows to a touchdown. For Los Angeles, their appointment with destiny is only a minute away. Josephson, magnificent all day, drops Gabriel's pass, and on 4th down, Roman's pass went astray, and the Packers take over with only a minute remaining. Linebacker Tony Guillory blocked the punt, and Claude Crabb recovered and sped to the Packer 4. With only 44 seconds left, pandemonium rocked the Coliseum, and the Ram bench sensed victory with nervous anticipation. Unable to recover, Bernie Casey beats him for the winning touchdown. It was the shot heard round the world. The Rams had won when they were as close as they could come to losing. For a man as close to his players as second-year coach George Allen is, the fruits of an impossible victory warrant an emotional relief.
The experts thought it would be just a warm-up for next week's Western title game as Green Bay took on the lowly Steelers. But those proverbial experts would be wrong again. Pittsburgh was aided by a muddy, slippery field, which helped cause 7 Packer fumbles and 3 Steeler interceptions. Their defense did the rest, holding Green Bay's awesome ground game to under 100 yards. Of course, the Steelers also had their troubles with the turf. After a Steeler touchdown made it 7-0, Bart Starr tried to bring Green Bay back. Even when he did find his receivers, the footing was so treacherous that long gains were few and far between. Starr's second toss to Donnie Anderson resulted in Green Bay's 4th fumble of the period, but Ben Wilson recovered to continue the drive as the first quarter ended. Lombardi put rookie Don Horn at the helm in the second period. Horn showed his credentials on the first play, a quick toss to tight end Mar Fleming. The drive stalled, but Don Chandler's three-pointer made it 7-3 Pittsburgh midway through the quarter. The Steelers widened their lead on the next series thanks to the legs of number 38, Earl Grove, who gave one of his better performances today with 61 yards rushing against the NFL's top defense. His barreling 22-yard touchdown run made it 14-3 with about 2 minutes left in the half. With the help of Travis Williams' 40-yard kickoff return, quarterback Horn took a lesson from Bart Starr and guided the Pack to a score. Williams, along with Horn, is another of Coach Lombardi's sleeper draft picks. The rookie speedster garnered 250 yards total offense today, 29 of them on this swing pass from Horn that went for a touchdown and narrowed the score to 14-10 at the half. The Steeler defense was the story in the second half. A flying tackle by number 34, Andy Russell, started them off. Setback Ben Wilson had a rough day on the field. A jolting hit knocked the ball loose, and the Steelers recovered, setting up a 27-yard field goal, which made it 17-10 Steelers midway through the quarter. The Steelers had fumbleitis too. Kent Nix hit his favorite target, J.R. Wilburn, but J.R. couldn't hold the ball, and Bob Jeter's recovery gave the Packers good field position. Travis Williams hung onto the ball, but that was about all. However, it seemed like neither team wanted the pigskin today. The key play of the game came when the Packers' third quarterback, Zeke Bratkowski, lost the ball. Steeler tackle Chuck Hinton picked it up and rumbled 27 yards to a touchdown. Lombardi put Horn back in, and the rookie from San Diego State came through again for his coach. Travis Williams sparked this drive. With the help of good blocking, number 23 swept the left side for 7 yards. Williams has the speed to become one of the great ones in the NFL. Here he swept right and beat the secondary into the end zone for his second TD of the day. Seven points down, the Packers got one last chance late in the game when Jeter intercepted a Kent Nix pass with less than 2 minutes to go. A costly penalty nullified Horn's aerial to Max McGee, and he'd have to try again. But the Steelers had nothing to lose today, and they played it loose and tough. Time ran out on Horn and the Packers despite this last completion. However, Don Horn showed great poise, and Lombardi's worries for the future should be minimal, but not for this week, when the Packers meet the Rams for the Western Crown.
On the coldest New Year's Eve in the cold, cold history of Green Bay, the Packers met the Dallas Cowboys at the Eastern Conference for the championship of the National Football League. After 55 minutes of play, the Cowboys led by 3 points, and most of the crowd had almost decided to go home, warm up, and drown their sorrows with a sad New Year's Eve celebration. But in the final frozen moments, the Packers burrowed deep into that reservoir of experience and determination that has accumulated in their unequal 3-year reign as champions of the world. They toiled 67 yards in 4.5 minutes to the threshold of pro football history. One yard. the clock, and the brave Dallas defense were all that stood between the Packers and the impossible dream. An entire season's work depended on this one final play. Jerry Kramer reveals that it was engineered with Green Bay's typical attention to detail. Jerry Kramer drove out Jethro Pugh and steered Bart Starr to the championship of the National Football League. There it was, only one play, one block in a long season of plays and blocks in one-yard game. But it was a play to remember, a play that tells you what the Green Bay Packers are all about. Guts, determination, and Coach Vince Lombardi.
I think it's because of Coach Lombardi.
Ray Nitschke, Dave Robinson, Bart Starr. They will be remembered as the faces of victory. They will be remembered for their coach, whose iron discipline was the foundation on which they built a fortress. And most of all, they will be remembered as a group of men who faced the greatest challenge their sport has ever produced and conquered.